My name is CJ Wilkins, and my passion is making companies look good. I've been doing that for about 16 or 17 years. Don't let the baby face fool you. I've been doing it since just being out of university, even still while I was in university. What did that mean? Well, I grew up in southern Alberta. Southern Alberta is oil country. And oil country is great because there's a ton of money out there. And for somebody who enters corporate communications, what a wonderful opportunity to make companies look good. So what I would do is make companies look good. This is an example of some photography that I would have hired a photographer to take of an oil sands facility. As you can see, there's dynamic lighting in there. There's lots of bright lights, shiny metal. Everything looks fantastic, doesn't it? That's a nice, beautiful facility. I think it looks fantastic. Wonderful, yes. Here's the problem. This is what the oil sands really look like. So as you can see, as far as you can see, it's gray, toxic sludge. The plant is up in the top corner. You can see some whiter marks up at the top there. Those are blocks of sulfur. You can see the steam coming off the plant. Those plants create their own weather systems. I went up there when I was working for the Alberta Energy and Utilities Board. I was responsible for oil sands communications. I was meeting with the president of Syncrude, and I went up there for the first time, came back to my hotel, and cried because I couldn't believe that this is taking place in the earth. But I still had a mortgage to pay, I still had bills to pay, car payments, suits. I'm not even wearing a suit today, I've given up on that. And so what I found is I wanted to work for another company that was doing something different. So I switched companies. I worked for a company that was developing wind power projects in addition to natural gas projects. And I worked there for about 5 years, and everything was great. Up until the time that we had an explosion at one of our sour gas plants, and we blew an employee out the building. We blew him 40 feet out the building, and I was on the crisis response team, explaining to the executive team what they needed to do in order to minimize the damage to the company. Because my passion is making companies look good. What I had to do is phone the hospital. I had to phone the hospital and say, hey, we just blew up one of our employees. Is he okay? Fortunately, he was. But that was the day that my passion in that arena died. And so I had to find an alternative. So I spent some time doing a little bit of soul searching, looking for that alternative, but my passion really, really felt dead. Let's talk about passion for a second. We have these really dramatic views about what passion is and what passion's supposed to be. Passion is sexy. Passion is colorful. It's amazing. You know, this is what passion, this is what the media feeds us, is passion. See the little heart they're creating there? It's beautiful. Edward, vampire love. You know, you can't get anything more passionate than vampire love. It's amazing. But that's not what passion really, really looks like. This is what passion really, really looks like. He looks like such a derf. Why? Because it's not race day. It's the day that he's training. It's the day that he's working hard. It's the day that he's pursuing his actual passion. Real passion is the skateboarder who tries a trick 250 times and doesn't get it right, and then once gets it right, but his buddy's not there to record it for YouTube. Passion is the person who's studying for their law exam because they have a passion about the law or democracy. Similarly, risk is something that we've taken for granted as this wonderfully sensationalized concept. When we think of risk nowadays, this is what we think of. We think, oh, adventure, risk. You know, we see the wingsuit guy flying through the sky. Wow, isn't that amazing? This guy's hanging off a cliff with he probably has a latte in his hand. Like, holy smokes, that's incredible. That's not really what risk is, though. Really, the point I'm trying to make is, if you have a passion, it makes risk worthwhile. It makes it okay for you to take a risk because you feel like it's worth achieving. I knew I had my passion of making companies look good, but I needed to take that in a new direction. So to give you guys an example of what that was like for me, I want everybody to reach their left hand down underneath their chair and grab a little Ziploc baggie full of something. Okay, open those bags up, have a play. We're going to give you about 30 seconds. Build whatever you'd like. Okay, time's up. I'd love to see everybody. Hold them up. Look around. Take a look and see what everybody's built. Give yourselves a big one-handed on the thigh round of applause so we don't break all your Lego. So the question I have for you is, who built this shape right here? Anybody? To me, what these pieces of Lego represent are my previous experience in the oil and gas sector in public relations and communications, and the assets for a sign company that I bought here in the Okanagan. The difference is, I didn't give you guys instructions on what to do with your Lego, so you built whatever you'd like. The great thing is, with my sign company, I didn't have a list of instructions either, so I got to build whatever I wanted with it. It's really exciting. That's the shape I came up with for my sign company. So I've got that shape here. The problem with it is once we got going, one piece was broken. One piece of that sign company was fatally flawed, and it was killing me. Our printer was killing me. Little background on the sign business for you. We print on really wide format printers. If you have your printer at home that has that little cartridge that goes back and forth, large format printing isn't any different, except it's big. The big difference is it's big business too. A couple of years ago, the large format printing business was worth $19 billion worldwide. In 2010, there were 300,000 large format printers sold in the world. That's a lot of large format printers. This is a hyper-competitive marketplace. Problem is, a lot of those printers, and the ones that I bought, gave me headaches. They gave me pain. What was happening is they were emitting VOCs, volatile organic compounds, into the atmosphere, into my shop. We would have a busy shop day. People wouldn't come into the shop. They'd walk into the shop, turn around, walk out, phone me and say, meet me outside because I don't want to go into your space. And I was in that space when we were starting out 14 hours a day, and it was killing me. So I had to find a new alternative. I had to take another risk. So we researched and looked into new technologies. What was there out there that could change the game in the sign business? We found a printer that was based on latex ink, water-based ink. And if I look at the numbers, I know I was taking a risk. In 2010, 3,000 latex printers were sold worldwide. 1% of all printers. To this day, we're the only company in the Okanagan that has one. But it was a huge risk. I got emails from suppliers saying, you're going to lose all of your money. You're going to burn your shop down. Your prints aren't going to turn out right. It was a horrible, horrible scenario. But it was worth the risk because I was developing a growing passion for sustainability based on my own health. And then I realized our signs are off-gassing for days. They're off-gassing in our customers' locations. And so what can we do differently? We invested heavily into this latex technology. So what do you do when you have a growing passion for sustainability? You turn it into a competitive advantage. So that's what we look to do. Where are the other low-hanging fruit where we could make our business more sustainable? We look at recycling options. You look at being certified carbon neutral. You look at just fair business practices and how you treat your employees and how you conduct your business with integrity. That's what we started to focus on with my business. One of the challenges we have is the sign business is not a sexy business. Sustainability, like real passion, isn't sexy either. But entrepreneurs need to realize that for us to continue with the status quo, in particular in the sign industry, because it's a dirty, dirty, dirty industry, we have to invest in green technology. We have to commit to sustainable business practices. It's not sexy. It's not glamorous. That's what the sign business looks like. It's horrible. It's evil. But if you invest in sustainable options, you can make a big difference in your outcome. It's not a sexy unicorn, but it's a unicorn that makes me feel a lot better about myself than hanging out with Darth Vader all day. So what can you do? What can you do differently? Well, we have a lot of entrepreneurs in this room. Entrepreneurs who have nothing to do with the green space, nothing to do with sustainability. What I would like you to do is go back to your organizations and figure out what areas you can improve on sustainability. Because in the sign industry, there's no incentive to. Our products cost more to make overall. We eat that on our profit margin because we're in a hyper-competitive marketplace. So we make less money per sign, but it's worth it. We have the passion for sustainability, so it becomes worth the risk. Thank you.